So that is kind of like our North Star. Because when you go into mind body, and I think a lot of people who read the book have a background in different disciplines, you can really get lost in all the different things to do. But if you come back to that essential humanity of yourself, that I'm this system that walks on 2 feet, that balances on 2 feet and walks on 2 feet. It's an incredible feat. We're the only species that does it. Our species is so unique and incredibly evolved. And why not use that intelligence? Why not use that lower brain intelligence? And when you start to orient yourself to appreciate that, then you're just like, okay, let's hunt for that richness, because the idea of the neocortex being the CEO and running the company, it's not a top-down system. And they know that now, that the bottom up is equally as important. The bottom up scaffolds cognition. So if the bottom up, if that encoding is disruptive or dysfunctional or hyperreactive or whatever, it is really hard for the neocortex to work. You could think of this as a support, or the kind of tree, the kind of roots and the trunk to support cognition. So the whole point of doing that is to have a North Star. So all the things that you do, if you relate it back, all the exercises you do, and a lot of them are just kind of nonsense in terms of what it means to the body. The sensory system can adapt, but the underlying purpose of a human body, it will not, let's say, translate into other skills. If you improve standing and walking, what you improve is going to translate into other skills, because your body is like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I get that. Otherwise, it's like, huh, what are you doing? Okay, that's just a little trick. Okay, big deal. Right? If you're just working with trying to get mobility in the hips for mobility's sake and not integrating it into the whole walking system, the brain's deeply evolved understanding of that is just, it's like processed food. It's like, what is that? What do I do with this? Right? If you give it something and remind it the context of walking, it's like, oh, I know what to do. Let me help you with that. Let me add this other stuff that's been sitting in dormant, because you've never kind of given me these signals. And so everything that I teach and everything I do hands-on is all wrapped up into that North Star. So it's a really big important thing, because a lot of treatments or approaches just all fall apart when you get up and start walking. Like if you've ever been on a table and you got massage and you feel it so good, and then you get up and you feel like nothing's happened, because all of those systems to walk and move yourself through space will just come back online. And you change one thing, and then you have this whole context that doesn't change. Guess what? When you come back into that context, everything snaps back into place. So it's the same thing like with an addict. If he's going to hang around with all his addict buddies and he's been clean and he goes back to that same context, chances are he's going to relapse. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole orientation of the book. And standing on your own 2 feet is really captured in what I call the sensing posture. So I talked before about the context, and you could change one little thing, but if the context is still like this, it doesn't matter what you do here. And that's why I start with the 3 keys, because that's a whole kind of postural reset. The second half of the book is about moving forward. So that's about how you can metabolize trauma. Trauma is a huge topic, and I don't expect or try to pretend that this will solve everyone's trauma, but it's one little tool that is at the core useful in multiple different ways if you can feel the infinity pattern. So if you find this within yourself in your walk, because you're literally walking forward, right? If you can find this, what you're teaching yourself is that you're always returning to center, and you're always recreating your center. And every time you go off to the side, when you are going far away, you know you're going to bank a turn, and you're going to come back to center. And that is to feel that and to experience that and to watch it happen is hugely reassuring. And you can find that again and again, and it comes up in many different ways. But in the book, in the video, I show you how to take that concept and build it up in your body and then encode the two sides of your body